Was that an you got the Oak Cliff special? What you got over there? Okay.
This episode of Noonish Sports and Tech is brought to you by High Energy Models and Events, Tech for Troops, T4T, baby, Verve Performance Labs,
Whiskey, me?
Bet US, where the game begins. Scan the QR code below to bet on your favorite sports games 24/7, 365.
After I drink.
The original shot sock now. Without my shot socks.
Not in this age.
Yeah. Hello, y'all. Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. Ooh, I think we need to turn it down a little bit, Renee.
Oh,
We need
yeah.
to turn it down just a tad.
So Renee was right all this time.
Something's going
Come on,
on.
now.
Sound a little loud on my end, though. Let me turn this
He
one
did.
down.
He
That
did
might
tell
be-
you that.
There
All
you
right, there
go.
we go. There we go. Yeah, welcome everybody to this 7th season, first episode of your favorite Hump Day special show, man. Noonish Sports and Tech. We got an exciting show for you today, man. Action packed, man. Got some legends in the building, man. Can't wait to talk to one of my favorites, man. I wore number 24 my whole life, man. You know, it's a certain, you know, when you see 24 on that field, you know, you got a baller out there. You know what I'm saying? So a game changer is what we call him. But anyway, before we get into it, let me go ahead and introduce our awesome co-host, starting out with the one and only Mr. El Grande Toro Jonas Bull in the house.
You think
man.
people don't know who we are anymore?
Man, they should know if they don't know by now, man. You know, they late to the party. You know what I'm saying? That's the people that still ain't, they don't know about crypto yet. You know what I'm saying? Same kind of person. Same kind of person, man.
Don't know about
A lot of
ChatGPT.
them.
Yeah, man. And to
I
my
heard about
left,
ChatGPT.
you're right. We do have Mr. Half Man, Half Amazing. All hands. Always on time. Mr.
Hey.
1-2 Bayou. Mr. Yak. You know what I'm saying? Mr. OU himself. It
He ain't
Mr.
trying-
Mark Clayton in the building. What's
What's
going
up,
down,
man?
bro?
Mr. Walls ain't trying to hear all that.
Hey, just trying to say.
By you.
gotta-
Ain't
you gotta
nobody running by me. Ain't nobody running by
I just
me.
wonder what kind of thoughts he had in his mind right there. You know what I'm saying? Because we've only seen one
man.
other cornerback, and we have had prime time come through this organization. But we've only seen one other cornerback equal the amount of interceptions
True.
in a season
In the history.
of this gentleman right
Ever.
here. There's only been 12, well,
Yeah.
not technically,
Technically.
but 12 other 12 people or more, I guess 12 to like 15 people that have
Right.
in the history of the NFL that have more career interceptions
Right.
than this young man right here that we're talking to today, man.
Yes,
if
sir.
y'all don't know who I'm talking about, it's Mr. Everson Walls, man. Thank you so much for joining us today. How you doing, sir?
You are welcome. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
Good,
hear you. Hear you
good.
great, man. So I'm really excited to talk to you, man. You know, I've been watching you my whole life. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Mark used to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. Jonas is a Dallas Cowboy
Yep.
fan now. You know what I'm saying? And matter
So
of fact, I was thinking, I was like,
back
man,
up,
y'all actually
back
played
up.
for the same organization. Because you
Back
played
up,
for the
back
Cleveland
up.
Browns,
Uh-huh.
and he played for the Baltimore Ravens, and that's the Cleveland Browns
Brown.
that
That was.
transferred over to Baltimore before they, you know,
Yeah. You know.
made another team out of
Indeed.
thin air. You know,
Right.
Hold up. So he used to be a Cowboy fan.
used to be absolutely.
Well, yeah.
What happened?
Well, I was a devout fan growing up. It was Cowboys and Barry Sanders. Then I got drafted with the number 22 overall pick, and I felt like I should have been a 20th overall pick.
Yeah,
That was a Cowboy pick,
Man.
and Marcus Spears was that pick. And I tell him to this day, you're lucky, bro.
yeah,
Hey, I'm kind of glad we're talking about this. That's good.
yeah.
All you Negroes always believe if
You
y'all
should
don't
have
get
been
picked by
sooner.
the Cowboys, if y'all don't get picked by the Cowboys,
Yeah.
y'all upset your whole career, man. We can't pick everybody, bro.
Get him.
I know, bro.
They didn't even pick me. I picked them. I was undrafted. I chose
Wow.
Oh, you had a
them.
choice. That's nice.
So hold on. So
Well,
you
that's
came
big time.
in undrafted and had 11 interceptions
That's
in the
No
amazing.
doubt.
first year.
No doubt.
That's
The
And
big
when I
time.
whole
say
front office staff should have gotten fired.
when I say I had a choice, when you're undrafted,
Yep.
that just means you know they're gonna pick you for training camp and
Yep.
use you up and get rid of you.
Yeah.
So they had no idea
Right.
that they would end up keeping me with my $1,500 signing bonus.
My gosh.
Man.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
there was no was there a combine back then, back in the gap like that? Or when did the
Oh
NFL
yeah,
combine start?
Oh yeah. How many
they did.
rounds?
They did have NFL combines. I'm not that damn old. They did have
Yeah.
NFL combines, and yeah, they wouldn't even. I went to an HBCU, so in
Yeah.
Yeah.
1981, they are not thinking about HBCUs and spending a lot of
Wow.
time inviting us nor coming to visit.
Yes.
So they would spend little time there, very little time. Even Willie Brown, who was a former Gramblinite, I
Brown.
broke his record, and he
Yeah.
came down to time me, but he was the only person that came, and I think that was just because he was on a personal visit.
Wow.
You
So
know?
how'd you end up, choosing the Cowboys? I know you're from here, Richardson, Bergner, D-Town, baby. You grew up here in Dallas, right?
That's
So,
right.
what
Damn.
was that process like just walking on? Did someone introduce you to, who was it? Tex Ram and
Well, first of
Tom
all,
Landry?
you can stop right there because Tex Ram would not deal on that lower level. You
Yes.
understand? I mean, we're just talking about undrafted free agents. You don't meet Tex Schramm. You don't
Yes.
meet Tom Landry until the first day of some type of camp.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's no ceremony, for a guy that wasn't drafted. No ceremony at all.
So what was
So,
that process like?
I just came to camp like everyone else. I had already signed the contract, of course, in the spring. Uh, I was very disappointed, of course, in how things went during the draft. So you know how it is when a brother from HBCU comes into the league, then I got a chip on my shoulder.
When the master
And
chips.
so, oh, no doubt, because I took it personally and culturally, I took it as well because I felt that was only because that I went to an HBCU that I was not considered more highly. And
Yes.
so, I was no dumbass. I graduated from Grambling, so I know
Yeah.
how life works. I grew up in Hamilton Park in Dallas, so
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
you kind of you take that stuff to heart. And so I played with that same chip my entire career. But we started off in camps. Uh, I do recall uh, Tony Hill was coming up, and I'm a Cowboy fan. You mean like me and you from Dallas?
Yes.
Tony Hill happens to be at practice while we had a rookie camp. And of course, Tony Hill was not a rookie, but he comes over to us as DBs, all rookie DBs. And he says, "Hey guys, I want to look. Just somebody give me a look. I want to warm up a little bit."
Yeah.
And I'm still pissed.
Yeah.
So I jump up. I mean, I jumped up to the front of the line, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like give me some, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hold up, young fella," because he saw my attitude. He said, "Look, I'm just want to get loose." I said, "Yeah, whatever, man." I
He
said,
said it's practice.
"Yeah, right. You want you number one." I said, "You the best. I want to be the best." That's what I said.
Yes.
And boy, he came out there, man, and I shut him down that one route. He
Yeah.
was just trying to get loose, but me, I was really feeling myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that first time, I was all over it, right? He ran a little curl route. So he said, "All right, young fella, because Tony Hill is not for lack of confidence or trash
Yes.
talk." And he lined up the second time. He's like, "Okay," he almost broke my ankle,
Oh
So
no.
yeah, yeah,
Hit
that
you one of
that
the
that's
Tyreek
how
Hill moves.
that was
Same
my
last
welcome to
name.
the NFL moment right there.
Yeah.
And just to let you know how frequent it was for him, if I ask him about that to this day, he does not even remember that,
Yeah.
you know. But it
So
made
so
Right.
made a big impression on me.
so you being able to go up against Tony Hill every day, how much of an advantage was that for you and your growth as a cornerback in the NFL?
Oh, it was all I had. I mean, it was paramount.
Yeah.
Guys like Drew Pearson, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Drew was still a baller. You
Yes.
know, I mean, still young. Tony Hill was only 3 years in the league at that time.
So they made
So,
games easy.
oh man, these guys, man, we battled every day. And as much as we were friends in the locker room, once we got on that field, it was personal. It really was.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you look at a guy like myself coming in undrafted, the last thing a veteran wants to do is to be challenged by a person of my low status,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just so that's the fight within the fight.
Yeah.
It wasn't just I couldn't I talk about trying to make plays in the NFL. You have a tough time just making the team. You
Yes.
know, it was 25 of us, so that's just rookie DBs, 25. Sometimes you didn't even make it through the drill.
Wow. So when he
That's
broke your ankles,
crazy.
did he hit you with a look away? Then was he just what he do to get you to jump?
He did one of those CD Lamb moves. He quick footed me, man.
Yeah.
He quick footed
Oh,
me. I thought he was going deep. Boy, he stopped on the dime,
Yeah.
turned
oh, that boy
around.
kept
Yeah.
running.
Oh yeah. I was still facing the other way when he's looking at the ball. Yeah.
They were like, man,
He looking at
somebody,
where'd you go?
somebody give this guy a map.
And then,
Get some directions
when he
back.
caught it, when he caught it, it wasn't over. He caught it and just kind of, how they showed it to me.
Yeah.
He showed it to me. Yeah,
And that was a teaching moment.
that was a
Right.
teaching moment.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
bro. Yeah, bro. That's how you grow. That's how you get better. That's how you end
Yeah.
up with
That's how I
57
grew.
interceptions
That's
in
how I
12
grew.
years. So just to, kind of put this into perspective,
Yeah.
right? Deion Sanders played 16 seasons, and he ended up with 52, 53 interceptions in his career. You played 12 seasons, fewer
13.
games
13.
per season, and ended up with 57 interceptions in your career.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned at the opening of the show, ranking 13 in the league. I think you're tied with like 4 or 5 other guys. Unfortunately, but fortunately, your last name is Walls, but that does put you at the bottom of the, list of 13.
Oh, alphabetically. Okay, alphabetically. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, that's you were a wall on that field, man. And I know it was a big deal when you got. Did you get traded or did you go over to the Giants in free agency?
I got cut. I got basically unceremoniously kicked off the team.
Yeah.
There was a lot of mess going on with the new regime when Jerry and Jimmy came in. It was a totally different feel, and really it was a needed change. Because Tom Landry and Tex Schramm and Gil Brandt, they were the old guards, and it was time for them to go.
Yes.
And when Jimmy and Jerry came in, the change happened extremely quickly, and really it was just a microcosm of how the NFL was changing as well.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wasn't done.
Yeah.
And so once they got rid of me, Jimmy, on a personal level, got rid of me. We're still having battles, by the way. Jimmy and I are still having personal battles
Yeah.
through the media as well. That's correct.
Really?
And,
Wow. Is it as big as Charles Barkley and Skip Bayless's?
Oh no.
or Shannon Sharp and Skip?
We're not
Charles
on that level,
be
but
shitting on Skip.
if I
anytime
ever
we
get a chance, on that level to make some statements, yeah, Jimmy will be included in my statement.
Hey,
There's no
it's
doubt about it.
it's
No,
a lot
no
of
doubt.
celebrities that have crossed over into boxing in this
this new yeah.
exhibition match. Would you be up for exhibition match against Jimmy Johnson?
Right.
And I'd say
Let's
this.
get
Like,
in the ring.
how big are
That's
you,
funny.
Everson? You're a tall cornerback, man.
Yeah.
I'm six. I just turned 63. I'm 6'2". But
Oh yeah, that's big corner.
as you get older, I'm down to 6'1" now. But I was
Yes. But
That's big corner.
I mean, yeah, but you were
No, that's
before
a
your
big
time
corner.
because
That's
that's a big
corner
cornerback.
today.
That's what they want. That lean, tall corner,
Long
that can-
arms.
long arms, good speed. They can play zone. Man, that's Richard Sherman. There's certain
Sherman's
defenses
6'3".
you can play in.
you're talking
Right.
you're talking Richard Sherman, who was 6. I thought he was about
3.
6'4".
Close to
3.
4.
Okay. And then you have Nashawn Wright with the Cowboys. Good looking
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
I
He's
think he's
6'4".
all of 6'4".
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got the African who has my number. I can't pronounce his name. but
Yeah.
I think he was a cornerback in college, and he's all of 6'4".
Yep.
So
Wow.
I enjoy watching guys with that frame and that fluidity
Yeah.
be able to make plays like that, because not only when you're this tall as a corner, and that's what some of these tall corners are learning, your footwork has to be impeccable.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from the footwork. I wasn't fast, but the footwork was there. If
Yeah.
you can go from the brain to the feet quickly, that is something that is invaluable in the
Yeah.
NFL. So that footwork gets you in position. After that, it's all about the fight.
Yeah, and talking about cornerbacks and bringing up Dion, he just recently got a job in Colorado, right? How do you feel about that, and what the job that he did in the HBCUs, man, out of Jackson State? He did a lot of great things for the for the conference and just for HBCUs. Period. We see Ed Reed is now at Bethune Cookman.
Yeah, yeah.
We got my guy down in Gremlin.
Oh yeah, Eddie
Hugh
George. Well, Hugh Jackson,
Hugh
You have
Jackson
and then
Eddie
Eddie George is
Robinson,
in there.
at
Eddie
Tennessee
Robinson as
State.
well. Eddie
Yep.
Robinson at Alabama State, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yes. So, how do you feel about Dion and the job he did at Jackson State, and then him just taking off to Colorado the way he did?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed all the publicity that HBCUs got briefly. I think it was welcomed, of course, but I think it became more myopic, I guess is the word, because it whittled down to just Jackson State and Dion, and that's not on Jackson State or Dion. That's not on them. That's just kind of how things organically went. So it remains to be seen how much more publicity and how much more the media targets the HBCUs. I hope it continues along the same magnitude, but I don't think it will. But we are still better off for it in regards to uh, he being accompanied by Eddie Robinson Jr. At Alabama State, just the ones you talked about. Jay Grieve, welcome change to HBCUs in regards to Bethune Cookman. Just enjoy the fact that these young men are going to get some really invaluable experience dealing with these extremely accomplished players. All of these guys. I mean, they have name recognition, and what comes along with that is knowledge. And
Yeah.
so, if they could just soak that in,
Yep.
that'd be amazing for all these young brothers that are not just trying to make it in the NFL. I mean, we're just talking about lessons that will allow you to go further in life. Period.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And it's I mean, I think it was refreshing for first of all, the state of Mississippi, which is just going through all kinds of stuff. Jonas is from there, Jonas ain't had a good glass of water. I'm just playing.
A long time.
Had to go get
He's
some
still
Dasani.
thirsty.
No, but they really had some things that I don't know if any other coach could have, helped that program, get through the way that Dion did so charismatically, so smoothly. You know what I'm saying? And I think he did a great job. I think it's cool to see him go from the HBCU level to, Colorado. That's a Power
big
5
time
program,
spot.
right?
Oh yeah.
It's a
Colorado, yeah,
program
it's big
that
time.
is clearly in the dumps right now. Uh, they call it a crap fire. The media themselves, they know all about it. They pretty much call it just a bad situation. A
Yeah.
lot of experts, when I say criticize the move, they didn't think that he should have taken that one. They should think that it's worth. Deion Sanders should be used more than at University of Colorado. I think that's the narrative because of the quality individual that he is and as a coach. Colorado is blessed to have him.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm hoping that it's not too much for him. Uh, you know, Deion's been through a lot, and he's done it well. So, we can't expect him to raise everyone's level. That's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure. But that's what he signed up for, and I hope he's
Absolutely.
successful at it.
If
For
anybody welcomes a
Colorado,
challenge.
yeah, if for Colorado, this
It's
is
that
going
guy.
to be a tough charge for him. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Big time.
If anybody can do it, I think that he's the man for the job. But so what
Let's
you
get
up to
into it.
now, Everson? You know what I'm saying? NFLP, like what's going on with you, man? By the way, Z Star told me to tell you hello.
Oh,
She's
that's my
helping me on
girl.
another
Yes,
project.
yes.
Yeah, man.
That's my girl. Yes.
Yeah.
No, very, very wonderful young lady. Come from
Yes.
good stock, by the way. Uh,
Former Dallas Cowboy.
Man, I was crazy about her dad, boy. I
Nice.
mean, when you end up in HBCU like myself, you have a certain voice that has to be heard. And I like how her dad kind of showed the way for me uh, to sometimes, not to shake things up for the sake of shaking them up, but
Yeah.
to have an idea of of how a football player should be treated and the respect that he deserves just as a human being.
Yes.
And a lot of times we, including myself, especially since I retired, we belittle, our position in the community and the ability that it takes to do, like we just got through talking about what Dion has done, to
Mm-hmm.
do things like Dwayne Thomas did. And a lot of them don't just remember how bold that man was in the face of one of the most staunch, rigid organizations that sports had ever seen in the
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys. So the courage he took for that, I've always just admired him. And when I see videos of him, I stop and look because he was one of the more interesting, intelligent men that I've ever really talked to or even had the pleasure to know.
Man, yeah, that's crazy, man. And I got a question for you about your playing career. So um, who was your arch nemesis? Who was
Uh,
the one receiver that you went up against every time you knew it was going to be a battle for 4 quarters, but y'all just welcome the challenge?
Yeah, if you guys had been listening, I've always said it. The first person name that comes out of my mouth is Roy Green.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I mean, this is a guy that I had to see him twice a year with the Cardinals, whether it was St. Louis or at that time Phoenix. It wasn't even Arizona yet. It was the
Yeah.
Phoenix Cardinals by the time I retired.
Yep.
He was Steve Smith Sr. He was like,
Ooh.
Steve Smith 1.0 or whatever you want to call
Played
it.
angry.
He played, and he was strong. He was just so strong. Uh, I think Senior brought the anger, but Roy Green was the beginning. So he was just uh, almost dismissive of your presence. That's kind of tough
That's
to
great.
be when you're
Yeah.
a defensive back. Uh, I was balling by the time he came around. I mean, I was
Mm-hmm.
balling against everyone else, but when it came to him, I had to realize that there are limitations
Yeah.
to what you can do. And I'm
That's a
glad
big statement.
that is a big step. I'm glad you recognize that, sir,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he made you realize, look, man, I can't do it all with this guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had to play him smart. I had to play him conservative. There were certain times I had to concede, not just uh, uh, deep passes. No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, I had to give up the short passes and
Uh-huh.
play that head game with him.
Couldn't cover everything.
I've known this about offensive coordinators and wide receivers and QBs.
Yeah.
Uh, they're extremely egotistical.
Of course.
They can't help themselves. They think every play is supposed to work.
Wide receivers?
Wide
Egos?
receivers as
Why wouldn't
well.
it? Why shouldn't it?
Because everything works. Everything's supposed to work because they drew it up.
Yeah.
And if you get a
And y'all are
one-on-one,
just reacting.
we call it a mismatch. That's right. We're just reacting. And
Yeah.
so
So
he's
it's a little
right.
more than that.
He's right. They think we're going to be a beat behind them. That's all they need is
Yeah.
that one step.
We don't think y'all gonna anticipate
Nope, nope.
at
And then
all.
when we do, we own y'all, and that's
Exactly. That's true.
And
Yeah.
so I had to just give up certain things, 10 yards, 12 yards,
Yeah.
sometimes even 15 yards.
Yep.
If it had to be strategic on how I guarded this guy.
Wow.
And sure enough, like most wide receivers and offensive minded players, eventually they're gonna come into the trap.
Yeah.
And that's how I had to play him. I had to bait them into running deep passes because I couldn't cover both with him. I just
Yeah.
couldn't.
I mean, man, bro, it seemed
That's
like you
cool.
covered quite a bit. 57 picks, and
Yeah,
that's not even.
that was on others but him.
Yeah. And that's crazy because you don't really hear his name come up too often.
Right.
In
Well,
conversation about great receivers.
Yeah.
he was very injury prone, and
Mm-hmm.
let's be real, guys. There are certain careers that are romanticized,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
especially as we get older.
Yeah.
We have a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
But Roy Green was a guy that battled many injuries.
Mm.
He never had a good team to play on in the
Yep.
Cardinals.
It
The
matters.
ownership, the ownership was trash, and to me, still trash.
Yeah.
At that time, they were bad. They were
Yeah.
the cheapest organization in the NFL. I
Mm.
mean, basic needs like clean, clean
Yeah.
jock
Towels in the
straps.
shower.
At that time, jock straps, socks, and things of
Jeez.
that
Jeez.
nature. They, the basics.
Hold on.
What
You can't
the
just go past
Cowboys
clean jock straps, bro. Like that's
Wait,
nasty.
they had to go. They had to spend money on their own jockstrap.
if the fact that I'm having to explain jock straps, I'll let you know how long ago that was. But uh, just the basics and of course renegotiations and the pay from that team was the lowest and most hard fought in the NFL.
Yeah.
That can take away your spirit.
Yeah.
And if Roy Green was
For
in
sure.
with any other organization, he would have been lauded as one of the best to ever play the game. And
Yeah.
Wow.
that's a
That's
testament
saying
to him.
something.
And it's also a statement on some of the situations that we had to go through back in the 70s and 80s as union reps and NFLPA as NFL Player Association goes.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I'm
That's big
definitely
time.
gonna go on YouTube, Roy Green.
Yeah, me too.
Please
See if
do.
I can
Smith
find it.
Senior. I looked up
You'll
to
see
him. So
24
24.
being embarrassed
Oh no.
a few times.
He
Yeah.
Trust
probably
me,
made sure to put you on there if it was that big of a war.
a few times.
That's what's up.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, man,
That
yeah,
was
this
great.
crazy career, man. Legendary cornerback right here,
Cheers.
man.
Cheers to the career.
We're going to jump into some of these good topics now, man. I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but we are Noonish Sports and Tech, and we're going to fire off on these
I am
Cowboys
not
right
familiar
now.
with this show at all. I was going to have you brothers break it down to me because
Yeah. Hey.
I don't know
Oh,
how you
you
got my number. I don't know how you got my number.
Hey, we hey, we just gonna toss you in the fire. Remember, we actually met at a boxing match here in Dallas, over at Gillies, and had it through my boy Renee
yes.
Rodriguez, the greatest
Yes.
producer in the land,
Yes.
And but no, man, I'm excited to have you on the show today. We're gonna have a good time, especially talking about these Cowboys and these playoffs. So I'm gonna go on and move on over. I'm changing screens on this end. I don't know if you can see it on your end, but ooh, that's not the one I wanted. But anyways, first of all, before we jump off on everything, we definitely got to talk about DeMar Hamlin and that whole situation that took place last Monday night. One of the scariest injuries I've ever seen. It's not the first time that's ever happened. Matter of fact, Keyshawn Johnson had a situation like that back in 1998. One of his the teammate, not his teammate, but the player that he was playing against, the exact same thing happened. They had to resuscitate him on the field.
Wow.
I mean, but that's a different day and age prior to social media and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But regardless, man, that was all of my life. I didn't recall that until Keyshawn brought it up. But all of my life, I've never seen. And as a matter of fact, they didn't end the game back then. They went right back to playing.
Yeah.
Right.
Back
That's
then.
the point I was going to make. Yeah.
Yeah. They went right back to playing.
They finished in any game that was similar to that.
Wow.
The game was finished. The
Crazy.
game was finished. And that is, as you brought up, a testament to where we are right now.
Yeah.
And let's all say a prayer for that.
Yes.
Because, I just spoke of the 70s and 80s. Owners were ruthless and heartless. Let's just be real.
Man.
Yeah.
And let's not give these guys a break. I mean, if they could do it, they would. The owners that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And Jerry loves his players. And and you look, you say, well, man, thank God it's not 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Because things could have turned out much different as we could have seen.
Right.
But the only difference that is out there is the players have a louder voice. You understand? Uh, they were talking about, well, they're talking to the coaches right now to see if they want to go out and play again. First of all, both coaches were extremely empathetic. They were not going to make that decision. But let's be real, the players were not going to let them make that decision.
Yeah.
Okay? The players' voices are extremely strong right now.
And
And
that's,
I joke
I
with
mean, that's
people,
huge,
oh, no doubt.
especially in
I
NFL.
joke with people all the time, and I say, you're welcome because we lost a lot of money during the 80s and the 90s with the strikes that we went on, money that will
Right.
never be recovered.
Yeah.
During the strike, I know I've lost about, and that, it's no big deal nowadays, but compared to what we were making, I lost over $100,000 in two strikes.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
huge deal back then, bro.
Back in the 80s, that was extremely huge. Money
Yeah.
that
Yep.
will never recover. So I'm
Dang.
glad that what they're doing now, the strength that the players have now, I'm glad I can say that we, all the union and the guys in the 80s, contributed directly to the fact that they have that kind of power right now.
Yeah.
And that's
Absolutely.
all good. And I know y'all seen the video of the brother that was outraged, right? That went viral. When he spoke truth about where we are in the
Yes.
NFL, still to
Yes.
this day,
Insurance.
insurance.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
they
Concussion.
they we had to negotiate and we got less coverage now. I
Wow.
mean things that he brought up. Retired players, such as myself. Thank God I was not a lineman or a safety or a
Yeah. Middle
linebacker.
linebacker, fullback.
Man, you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, these
Yeah.
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
are in bad
Them
shape.
headbangers.
I tried my best to avoid contact in 13 years and couldn't do it. I
Mm.
tried my best. To
Yeah.
this day, I sleep like crap. And I could just
Man.
imagine how
Yeah.
some other guys feel. Just my pain can't compare
Yeah.
to how these guys are suffering. And
Yeah.
yet they still don't have the proper long term care
Yeah.
Yeah.
that they do. Okay? We're talking about Rayfield Wright, who just died.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Roger Staubach, who's walking around here in bad shape right now.
Yeah.
Okay? But he's one of those guys not going to complain. Charlie Waters, that was a safety that was with me when I played. My rookie year, he was ending his career. One of my heroes because I was also a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
This guy walks, I mean, just seeing him, he's struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's this isolated uh, concern and empathy for Demar, right?
Yeah.
Man, Demar, thank God for Demar. But there were so many others. They weren't the dramatic on camera disasters that you saw with Demar. It
Right.
was
Yeah.
steady. It's a steady demise
Mm-hmm.
until
Yeah.
you die. Okay? A steady demise has been happening in sports. And it's still happening to this day.
Yeah.
So love me some Demar and everything that they're doing for his toy drive. But
Yeah.
Demar is not vested. Demar is not
Right.
vested. He won't be, even if he plays next year, he still won't be vested.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's just think about that.
Yep.
They're going to take care of Demar, but
Oh
what
yeah.
about everyone else?
Yep.
Well, I
And
mean, you look at how pissed off the owners are behind Deshaun Watson's fully guaranteed contract. Like that says enough. You know what I'm saying? Like the
they're
Browns
worried
did
about
something
his
bad by this
contract.
young
They're
man.
making billions. They wouldn't
Yeah.
pay Deshaun unless they could afford it.
Yeah.
Nobody's that stupid.
Yep.
No owner, no owner is like, oh man, the guy robbed me, man. Now I got to cut down on. No, they don't. They don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So all players' contracts should be guaranteed.
Yeah.
When you know that the moment you take a hit, and
Yep.
I'm preaching to the choir. The
Mm-hmm.
moment you take a hit, uh, pretty much your life will not be the same physically ever again.
Ever
Yep.
again, which is insane to think about, man.
It is.
But
It's insane.
yeah,
And
you
we take
guys are
that.
gladiators, bro. That's why y'all are the gladiators of modern day, man.
Right.
You know, and even though we say that, it still don't mean that y'all deserve to not get the proper, care
Yeah.
and treatment, bro.
And
So
now they're
Well.
using his condition, which to motivate people to play more football.
it's like, what? Like, how's that
like,
even add up?
like, just think of the irony of that. It's like
Yeah.
Go, and he's like, go get him. Of course, he wants his boys to play well, and
Yeah.
so everyone's using this, but I just don't want it to mask, the true nature of what's going on with the NFL. They're going
Yeah.
to extend. We were doing a podcast today with the Cowboys. When you asked what I was doing, I'm part of a team or a podcast team on that's with the Cowboys on their network called Mix Shots, and
Mm-hmm.
it's Mickey Spagnola, myself, and you guys know Bill Jones with CBS.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just talking about how you've got all of these players who are going out there. They're going to continue to play the game, but at the same time, they've got this in the back of their mind.
Yeah.
They have this in the back of their mind. So, to me, that's just the irony of it.
Yeah. Man,
Well, I just want to say thank you for being a part of paving the way because my experience as an athlete in the NFL and in retirement, I know is a direct reflection of the sacrifices that you guys made to give players a voice. And so I want to say thank you for that and appreciate it.
I appreciate that. And let me say this. I got off into this union stuff because of my mom. I was second year in the league. She made me go to
Oh
uh,
wow,
the NFLPA convention. True, God rest her soul. She
yeah,
made me go, and I went
wow.
there, and it opened my eyes. And
Yeah.
I saw at that time Robert Newhouse was
Robert
our
Newhouse, yep.
rep,
Mm-hmm.
and I heard Franco Harris talk about how he could never go on strike because the Roonies have been so good to him. That's the
Man.
words he used. That's the words he used. The Roonies have been so good to me.
Yeah.
Now that Rooney organization, they stepped up as many other as more than any other organization.
Yeah, I've heard this is
They
an
stepped up the Rooney
exceptional
Rule.
organization.
The Rooney Rule. That's correct. The Rooney Rule got Mike Tomlin's there, and
Yep.
they're definitely the exception. But Franco still ended up playing with the Seattle Seahawks
Yeah.
before he retired.
Yeah.
So and that's because they couldn't come to any negotiation
Agreement.
midterm. You understand? So
Yeah.
they still shipped him off.
Yep.
Yeah.
The same team that he gave praise to and
Yeah.
would never
And loyalty.
struggle against,
That
but they
business.
still shipped him off. That is a lesson I learned at an extremely young age. So when Robert Newhouse, he thought he was shifting the responsibility. He thought he was shifting the responsibility. He thought he was shifting the responsibility onto me. I wanted that responsibility as a union rep. I wanted
Yeah.
it.
That's
When I
awesome,
went to
man.
Albuquerque and saw I heard what Franco said, and I saw Gene Upshaw and his anger and my outrage to hear someone say that, knowing the situation around the entire league, that really it just spurred me to I turned into Dwayne Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, I turned into Dwayne Thomas.
Man.
That was the moment right there.
Man, I admire the fact that you came into the league as a walk on and came out in such a powerful position, even as a union leader, not just on your team, but someone that affected the entire league and the entire NFL, even to this day. You know,
Right.
things that you've done and did have, you created change. You were
Yep.
a change maker, bro. So that, a disruptor, is the way I
Yes.
like to,
It's
to
still
say and
going.
think
Yep.
about it.
I did enjoy that aspect of it. Being able to multitask was tough, and I have to say the downside of that was, you it kind of it's hard to contain that to just management, you know, and so when I was a union rep, I demanded a lot,
Yeah,
and it was good in some ways, but you lost a lot of not respect, but you lost a lot of support from your teammates
yeah,
because all of them don't think like you. And I kept, because I was so adamant, I just knew I was right and I was righter than anybody else.
yeah,
And so, it kind of led into a lot of altercations that I should have been able to avoid as a bigger man.
yeah.
And I've been going around making some apologies, you know,
And
here
that D
lately.
Town came out, baby.
Well, you know,
My mom came out in me. My mom came out in me. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But no, I learned a lot. I did. I'm glad I learned it. I'm glad my teammates didn't. As I apologized to them, they were like, you know what, that's unnecessary because they had also matured as well.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Man.
You see a lot in other industries that are early union or are not union. Seeing some of this with like the Amazon workers, and I think a lot of the workers and certainly a lot of people that are looking in from the outside don't realize that if you're the union rep, if you're the one that's trying to get these reforms made, you have to ask, you have to
Yeah,
demand
yeah, yeah.
not just the minimum, but more than the minimum
Yep.
to
It's
get
a
to the minimum.
negotiation 101, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
And
That's very true. It was a lot of that with the especially the '80s Cowboys, and you talk about starting one place because you think you're going to meet in the middle. I like that
right.
philosophy, but Gil Brandt didn't give a damn about that philosophy.
Yeah, it wasn't no middle.
And
Yeah, you
just a
start
me.
at a certain place, he starts down low. Then you say, okay, let's meet in the middle. He's still low.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's like, you want to play or not?
Right.
Exactly. And when you have at that time no free agency, at the
Yeah.
best, Plan B free agency was just introduced in 1990. I retired in '93, so you didn't benefit me at all, and it was a useless free agency. Even so, it was Plan B was it was a joke as well. So uh, when you see how the way they have it now, I would much rather have it to where the players have the freedom as opposed to you being locked into a team that is clearly not going to treat you fairly.
Transfer
Yeah.
portal, like college.
Transfer portal, that's right. That's right.
Yes. Yes.
More power to them. More power to them. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
It's a
Yep. Nah,
option-based
not gonna give them much
contracts.
power.
They're not.
Yeah.
Those will
And
be
it
option-based
just
contracts.
makes the,
Yeah.
Yep.
it makes the owners.
With every year I will rehash it.
Well, I know you work with the Cowboys, but unfortunately, Dak has a no trade clause.
Y'all gonna leave my quarterback alone, boy. Y'all gonna leave Dak alone.
So we gotta move on to the sports, man.
We gotta get there,
That's-
yeah.
I
We
don't wanna minimize
gotta
what we
get
just
out.
discussed because that's an ongoing conversation that we don't have enough time for today. You
Oh
know?
yeah, for the history of football,
Yeah. You know?
that ain't gonna change. Yeah.
And it's gonna continue to move forward, and
And they're
hopefully
going
we
up
see
to
some
18
change.
games now, so don't forget.
And add more games. Like,
They're going to add more games. Players are going to be more tired.
yeah.
They're tired now. I'm
Yep.
over there at the thing. The media guys over there, they look in the locker room. I don't go in the locker room, but the media guys over there, they're in the locker room. They say guys are tired.
Yeah.
I mean,
Expand the rosters to
Extra
60.
game is a lot. It's a lot.
If you expand the rosters to 60 players, you think that'll help?
I think
Yeah.
they better, how can I put it? The stars are still the stars. The starters are still the starters.
Yeah.
And it'd be still tough, and maybe I'm just thinking old school. It's tough for a starter to say, okay, I'm not playing today.
Yes.
It's not basketball, it's not
Yeah.
basketball or
Yeah.
baseball. A football player, we always seem as if, man, if we're lining it up, I'm playing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's prevalent now, but a guy like Michael Parsons, pretty sure every
Yeah.
time I pick him up, he's like, hey,
Hey,
Yeah.
we talking about a unicorn though. That's a rare character right there, bro. That's
But I mean, could you say
6'3".
I mean, wouldn't Tay Diggs? Tay Diggs.
Trayvon.
Trayvon Diggs say the same thing? Wouldn't Dak
Of course.
say the same thing?
Tay
Well,
Diggs
Yeah, I
got
don't.
broke up.
I'm the vast majority, apart from somebody probably on their last leg, is going to be I'm in.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm in.
Like I don't.
I'm in. That's the CD Lamb.
Yeah,
CD
hell no. CD Lamb ain't coming off the damn
ain't
field.
coming off there.
Like no.
Well, somebody needed to come off the field in these past few games in them Cowboys because that L we took Sunday. All right, listen, and I'm gonna bring it back to what's going on right now. And I know I don't want Jerry mad at you, Everson, because I'm gonna be real with you right now. You know what I'm saying? And I know you say leave my quarterback alone. I've been talking about Dak for the past 3-4 years. And
You've been talking Dak smack.
And
Dak smack.
don't get me wrong, okay? I want to see Dak succeed. That's my quarterback, right? I enjoy watching him at
That's why
Mississippi
you're so
State.
passionate.
When was the last time Mississippi
Exactly.
State was #1 in the college polls? When
Anything.
Dak was a quarterback, right? And I can't recall a time before that when they were that, right? So my frustration is with the Dallas Cowboys, right? They brought him in as a rookie. He did his job as a backup. He won his job. Kellen Moore got injured. Tony Romo got injured. Dak Prescott came in and did what he was supposed to do as a backup in one game.
He excelled.
He did more than that.
More than, yep.
More
He
than-
excelled.
exactly.
Was
He
amazing.
outplayed the contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh boy. What
And
contract?
and our coaching staff got overzealous, right? They saw these wins. They started listening to the. First of all, anybody commenting on the Cowboys, I don't trust them. I don't think they're Cowboys fans. So they're gonna say what they got to do to our demise. You know what I'm saying? So they were saying Dak is this, Dak is that. Now it's a quarterback controversy. In my mind, Tony Romo was at his peak when he was starting to get injured that way. And I always talk about this because the injury that he sustained his final year of football was the same one that Derek Carr had, and he came back and played for the Raiders for the remainder of the season.
Right.
But the Cowboys, my last memory of Romo is him against Philly, coming up to the line, looking at the T-wheel, going like this, and throwing a corner route, boom, for a touchdown. You know, he was on that level where he's recognizing what the defense is doing. He was on that Brady Rodgers level where I feel we missed out on 2 or 3 Super Bowls by not giving him his job back, right? I also feel that the Cowboys, in that whole situation, they prevented Dak from growing. Dak could have learned.
Shortchanged his growth.
Yeah, he was in an Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre position where he could have sat the bench for 2 or 3 years and learned small things from Romo, right? How to read a coverage, how to get to the line and understand what this defense is trying to do pre-snap. So now you can make the proper decisions. Learn how to throw that back shoulder fade. Like, I felt like the Cowboys stunted his growth. So it's not the fact that I'm against Dak. I love Dak. But now it's just the proof in the pudding of what you guys did 4 years ago by not giving Romo his job and stunting his growth. So now I can't turn back and be like, you know, Dak is my quarterback. I'm for him, but I'm just pissed off at the way that the Cowboys did it. Now we're seeing the result. 15 interceptions in what, 8 games? Like, that's not what you want. And that he's a far better player. His ability. Mike Barber, I played with he was my coach, and he always used to say potential is some foreign word that we don't understand. That's like speaking Italian. Potential is nothing. It's execution that matters. You know what I'm saying? So Dak has great potential. He's not Lamar running the ball. He's not Tom Brady throwing the ball. But he's somewhere in between that could be very effective if used properly. If he came up and had, you know, all the intangibles, but from a football perspective, not off the field, but on the field. You know?
Right.
So that's where my frustration comes in. It's not with Dak. It's with the Cowboys and their misuse of his ability and his maturity in the league.
I'm glad you finally explained all that.
Yeah.
Y'all
That's
didn't
good.
know that?
That's good. That was good.
I'm glad he did too, but I totally disagree with damn near everything he said.
Right.
So why do you
I
say
know,
that?
yeah.
I want to hear your point.
Was good.
Because I was a Tony Romo fan as well. And dude, let's not glorify Tony Romo, bro.
Oh, he made some mistakes.
Some mistakes.
A lot.
Come on.
But
He was
look at the
worse
roster
than Dak.
around Dak and look at Tony Romo's roster. It is
Yeah.
night and day.
I remember Tony Romo throwing 4 interceptions in the first half.
He has.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on. Let's not. First of all, I was a Romo fan too.
Well,
Boy, that Green Bay game, boy. Ooh, you couldn't tell me.
That was a catch.
I know.
They come back and said that was
Right.
a catch.
Let's not get into that because I'll get.
Wait,
I
so
hurt
you-
my knuckles. I hurt my knuckles on my homeboy ceiling fan. I jumped so much. Man, that was something else. They were extremely exciting. Dez and that whole team. The running back, McMurray, was that how he said his name?
Yep. DeMarco Murray, OU.
Such a good squad. But
It was.
Romo would screw up a game just as quickly and sometimes quicker and worse than Dak has ever done. Even this year. Even this year's screw-ups can't compare to Tony Romo's screw ups in certain years. And let's just be real about that now.
Well, Romo had to
I,
make plays
I
with the
do not
lack of
want to.
roster he had around him.
Pardon
He
me?
had Marco. He had DeMarco. He had T.O. But outside of that, he had Jason Witten. But outside of that, like, what did he have?
He had Brian Dez. He had Dez. He had Patrick Creighton. He had a good squad. He had a running back.
Well,
He had an offensive line. Look, he had an
yeah.
offensive line. Let me say this.
I
Now,
still
and
want Creighton to come on the show, but I can't talk about that drop against your old Giants.
I know. See, but that's all you remember. See,
No,
that's
I
all you
remember he was good. He was
That's
good
all
for
you
us.
remember. That's all. And see, that's what you. That's what happens with. And, nothing.
Yeah, images,
We just
certain
having
player
fun.
images. Yeah.
But that's what happens with social media. We remember one play, and I'm a victim of that as well. And all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, that's his whole career." We're
Right.
defined by that. But then, as you look deeper, there's always something deeper that will not go with that narrative.
Yeah.
And so I can say this: when Romo left, Romo was getting overweight. You could see it in his uniform.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not think he was at the top of his game. And I
Really?
thought when Dak came in with he and Zeke, I thought that was one of the most exciting years the Cowboys have had with those two coming in and taking us to the playoffs.
Yep.
There were games when, if you look at Dak's career, if this or that would have happened that had nothing to do with Dak, we're talking about him in an entirely different light.
What about now, though?
If we stop Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah,
we stop Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, we're talking about an entirely different narrative.
On that pass to the tight end on that third and
Oh, yeah.
long.
Talk to me, man.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
So-
I mean, you're gonna tell me that defense? I was there. You're gonna tell me that defense couldn't anticipate him rolling outside the pocket? I mean, come on.
He went
There are
left.
certain things that good defenses do that prevent some of the greatest plays that never happen. You
Why were we in
understand?
coverage and not blitzing? Why
That's
were we in
why
the zone?
a defense can stop the greatest plays that never happen.
Yeah.
You just do your job, and you don't have a conversation about how great that play was.
Yeah.
You see,
never happened.
so great plays are made because they are allowed to be made by someone that made a mistake.
Mistakes, man.
See?
So I'm a baseball guy, and we take advantage of mistakes.
You look at even his first game, not this year but last year. I'm just picking games out of nowhere.
Yep.
Because if you just want to go regular stats now, his stats are up there. But I'm picking games here. Stats, you can't compare with his stats.
No,
He's got
because he
all
always.
this year's an aberration as far as all the freaking interceptions. No one's talking about what did he have after he broke his leg? What did he have last year? 30 something and 7 interceptions?
Yeah, against soft coverage from playing from behind.
Now you're picking coverages.
But I'm saying he's playing from behind, so the defense backs
you
off.
could go through any other quarterback and pick. I could do the same thing. Tom Brady is playing in the worst division
8 and
in
9.
football, but
Yeah.
yet we're gonna if he blows his nose, we're gonna talk about how
Yeah.
great he did it.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay?
best
That's right.
news, boy.
Because we're letting the tail wag the dog here, and I don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
What you see is so many. I don't like explaining away things because to me everything all balances out. All right, you can say some of this wasn't his fault, some of this was. Everything balances out. I don't care. I would take Dak over, except for 5 quarterbacks maybe.
Ooh.
I mean, damn,
Come on now.
You take Dak over except 5 quarterbacks?
Except for maybe 5 in front of him.
So you would say Dak is a better quarterback overall than Tony Romo?
Oh yes, I would.
Oh, okay. I mean, we just
Okay.
agree to disagree. It's okay. I can't argue your opinion
That's
there.
right. I would.
I went through
Yeah.
and it's 24
I don't know how you
quarterbacks.
want to look at it. Number, wins, how you want to look at it. I don't know how you want to look at it.
Just
stack it
I.
up.
I look at it just I test,
Okay. Okay.
which is relative.
Okay,
Yeah.
Shady McCoy. Okay, Shady.
Yeah, and
I'm like, who would I rather play with?
like I said, it's about. I went through the starting quarterbacks in the league. I went through like 24 of them and a couple backups.
Before you got to Dak.
That I was
Ooh.
like, I mean,
Yeah,
and I'm just based off of things that I watch and I see.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Again, I feel like he could have been a much greater quarterback had the Cowboys treated him right, and done the right things back back when we could have won some Super Bowls, but
Yeah.
you know,
So
it is what it is.
Jay's tougher. I'm always like Dak has. I appreciate the progression that Dak has made. To me, looking at his ball placement. Now he gets off, and you know when it comes down to finishing the game, I think he's done well. I think he's been put in positions where they've depended on the defense. That has nothing to do with him, and have lost games. But overall, his development, although he got pushed in early via injury, I think his development and his check are accurate. I think he's developed well. I think he's a I would say average, just above average to just above average quarterback in the NFL. And that contract was based on the market and where he was at, and I'm totally
It's a
fine.
great contract now. In comparison to what
I'm
these
like,
guys
get
are
all
doing.
you can get.
The
Absolutely, yeah.
contract came from, like you said, the market was set by
Yep,
Kirk.
get all you can get.
Yeah.
Absolutely, maximize it,
Once
baby.
Kirk Cousins got his money, then Dak can get
1,000%.
But I'm just saying, you guys look at numbers. I don't care how you look at it.
You're right.
They
They're
stack
better
up.
than Romo.
Man, I can't look at his numbers.
Not just better than Romo, better than a lot of the quarterbacks in this league right now.
Yeah, you said it's at 5. You said it's at about
I
5.
would, I said I would take him over everyone but the top 5.
Y'all must be friends.
Who's your top
y'all
5?
Must be friends. You holding it down for
Top
your
5.
homeboy right now.
Who's your top 5?
Mahomes, Josh Allen. I like Burrows, Rodgers. I wouldn't even put him over Tom Brady over him right now. I wouldn't
Right
do it.
now? Fair.
Not right now. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Lamar Jackson.
I do like Lamar, but Lamar ain't playing right now.
True. Good point.
Well, the best ability is availability.
Well,
That's a fact.
even with Lamar's wins and numbers.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, what you want to do with Kyler? Come on.
Hey man, what's my guy in New York? White.
Talk to me about Kyler. Talk to me about Kyler. What you
I
gonna
mean,
do
he's
with
injury
Kyler?
prone. He's little. He's injury prone, but he's very dynamic.
Give me the eye test. Who said eye? Give me that eye
I test. Right.
I
But
test
I'm just saying.
I test that. And I love me some Kyler too. Now.
They're similar.
What about Justin Fields
I would take Justin Herbert before him.
and Justin?
I wouldn't take Justin Fields at all. No,
I've
Justin Fields
seen
at the bottom of
Justin
the.
Herbert have just as many flaws as many as that.
Hey, I'm saying. I said Justin.
I have seen Justin Herbert get control the entire game. They're only scoring 17, 20 points a game.
Justin Fields is right here though.
You've seen it as well. But no
Yeah.
one used that the same.
Yeah. Yeah, right on, man. Well, you're a Dak fan, so I can't. You know, I'm not trying to change your opinion today.
He got a
Dak,
valid. This is valid.
but
It is
you know,
valid.
you got some good points. But
That's
you
why
know,
I'm
his
a
stats.
fan of it because it is valid.
I think his
That's
stats
right.
are, you know, over.
That's right.
You know, I think his stats are overblown
Inflated? Is
because,
there a
you know,
little
he's
inflation
always
there?
playing from behind and soft coverage, and now you can complete these
Soft
small
coverage. I
passes.
don't know where it
and,
comes from. Soft
you
coverage.
know.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just. You know
So
how you
are they-
beat Dak?
Are they winning?
Wait,
So-
it's soft coverage. Wait a minute.
You
How
know
do you
how to
prove
beat that?
soft coverage?
Well, late in the game when other teams are up
You
by
guys
10,
show
that's
me
why
a
you got the
stat
most
on soft
comebacks in
coverage.
team history.
Don't be a
So-
stat on soft coverage. We go.
Hey, you know how you beat Dak?
I can't even have a conversation on soft coverage. I can't even go there.
Hey, well, all right, this how you beat
Soft-
Dak. This how you beat
Soft
Dak.
coverage.
All
I
right?
don't even know what that means, bro.
Tampa 2, 8 in the box. That's how you beat Dak.
Okay.
That's how you beat
What?
Dak. You stop the run and cover
You can
cover
beat-
2.
Tampa
You take
two?
away, take
a
away
whole
those
bunch of
flats.
That don't
quarterbacks
work.
like that. You
Oh,
can
You just
oh,
mixed.
Dak?
You said Tampa 2 with 8 in the box. That's not it.
beat a
Oh,
whole
I
bunch
mean,
of
with the formations they run, you gotta have 8 in the box.
Yeah, but you can't run
You're gonna
Tampa
have
2 with 8
eight
in the box.
and cover 2. I'm just run the ball.
Right.
Well, they don't do it. But I'm saying 8 in the
Okay,
box,
so
but they
is that
can't
his
run.
fault?
What I'm
that
saying
his
is
fault
you
that they don't
take
do
away
it?
the run and make him beat you with his
That
arm.
is
That's how you
fault that
beat
they
that.
don't do it. That's what I'm saying.
Cover the flats, take away the run,
So,
and you got
Ask
that.
them, are they winning this weekend?
Huh?
Are they winning this weekend?
You think so?
Ask them. No,
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get
It's
to that.
coming.
I got to get going.
I'm
All right,
ready.
cool.
We
All right,
can
cool.
do this segment
Yeah,
right now.
we're gonna run through this thing. So, you know, you can't see it, but it says accuracy leads to a loss again. Accuracy is an inaccurate quarterback. That's a new word. We're gonna keep moving. Ravens fall to the Bengals.
Roll right
Yep.
through it.
Yeah, so they got a new quarterback
Go ahead.
right now.
Go ahead.
We
Roll
don't
on
know.
through it.
Josh, yeah. I mean, That was a game
Just a
before we
game.
got into the playoffs. We're in the playoffs, and now we're focused on the playoffs.
All right, so we just
What
gonna
we
We
keep
hope
talking
on.
Lamar
about?
is,
What we talking
is,
about?
is in and balling, and hope it's a good game.
So I want to ask y'all, what would y'all do with the number 1 pick if y'all were Chicago Bears? Would you trade Justin Fields right now and get several picks for Justin Fields, or build your
Man.
team around Justin Fields?
That's tough. I look at Justin Fields like I look at Jalen Hurts, who I would take before Dak. But Jalen Hurts is the production of being in the right organization that handle him properly, and they absolutely maximize his abilities.
Yeah.
But he's improved as a passer from day one.
Yeah.
It's visible. And, he went in, I was like, no way he's going to last. He can't throw the ball like that. But they've handled him, like, flawlessly, I would say. Obviously, he's in MVP running now. But I don't see Chicago doing the same thing with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it another offseason, but I don't. I've seen the progression from year 1 to year 2 with Jalen. I have not seen that with Justin.
I hope we trade for Justin Fields. Anyways,
I didn't even hear that.
What? Yeah, good. I did. This boy just what?
No, one
that
thing
one
about
fly.
Justin Fields is if I was Chicago, then you just do the team building.
You
know,
have
it's
to.
like
Yeah.
Nate Newton was talking about. Build the team around this young man. This guy, I saw that he can pass the ball.
Yeah.
You saw it Ohio State guy. He's running the ball now all the damn time
Yep.
because he has no offensive line.
Yep.
and
Talk
the
about
man is
comparing-
huge, bro.
You talked about comparing him to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts now has, 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. I mean, 2 Heisman His offensive line has
It's
3
amazing.
3 All-Pros.
Yep.
They have 3 All-Pros on
Yep.
the offensive line.
Organization.
That's team building, guys. Let's be accurate here, okay?
Yeah.
We're not talking about soft coverage. There's no, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're making stuff here. This is just fact. The man they have put a team around him, and I'm so glad one of you guys said how you always believed him. I did too. And
Yeah.
I worked with a couple of guys. That used to make all these snide remarks about Jalen Hurts, and they used to offend me. They said the game was too fast for him.
Oh.
I never believed that to be so.
Yeah.
I knew because I was an OU fan.
Yep.
I saw how a young man went from being totally a running quarterback in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He was beaten out by Tua.
Yeah.
He went to OU, changed his entire game,
Yep.
Yeah.
and became a Heisman Trophy candidate. You just don't do that.
Yep.
You just don't make that. You don't adapt the way he adapted his entire thought process as a player and as a quarterback. It took a little while once he got into the league, but I knew that ability to continue to develop was going to be there, just like you were talking about.
Yep.
I knew he was going to do it. I'm extremely proud of Jalen Hurts. I really am.
Oh, yep.
But I
Young money.
still
But it-
take him over Dak, and you can kiss my butt on that.
But if Jalen goes to another organization that doesn't build a team around him like they did, and when they had pieces that were already in place that were like great defense, and then the offensive line, and then they brought in obviously the Heisman winner, and then they brought in AJ, who's a dog. If he's not in that organization, he's not developing. Much like many
He's
other
Justin
quarterbacks
Fields.
who.
He's Justin Fields. He's Justin Fields. If he
I'm
does
sa-
this,
is that- yeah. And so I don't know what their front office is going to do. Will they do it? I don't know. But at the end of the day, that's paramount.
System
You got to
matters.
have it. You got to have it.
So-
I ended that with a laugh, and it was true. I'll take Dak first, but I am extremely impressed with Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
Extremely.
I'll take Justin Fields and his projection. So we're gonna move on. We got this Super Bowl. It's called Who You Got. You know, these playoffs are starting this weekend. Mark's got to run here shortly.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your picks. Really, I want to get your Super Bowl picks. I don't really care about this weekend too much, but
Okay.
who do you see winding up in the Super Bowl, and who do you see winning in the Super Bowl this year?
So I'll just start with the winner, and I got the Chiefs. I think they're too fluid, too versatile, too creative. enough defense, and it's just. I think if it came down to defense, I think the dude in the middle, Jones, is crazy and makes plays late. I think if it came down to offense, having to score late, they got the best in the business.
Yeah.
And then I think they're playing. I think they're playing San Francisco 49ers
In the Super Bowl.
in the Super Bowl,
So Chiefs win it all. Chiefs
and they're playing the
49ers
Niners.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We got to write that down. We got to write that down. We got Mark's picks. So Mr. Everson Walls, who do you see winning this Super Bowl this year? First of all, who do you see competing for the Super Bowl championship, and who do you see winning?
I think it's going to be. It's hard to pick. I can't say that I could do it. I think the way Mahomes is playing this year, even without his major weapon in Tyreek Hill, he has, man, I've never seen him show so much determination. You know, not just the creativity, but running the ball more readily, putting them in position, and that also helps loosen up that secondary for the receivers that he still has there that are very good.
Oh yeah.
But his doggedness this year seems to be more on display. You know, of course, reaching for the pylon with the football. And I've seen him do some crazy things.
Yeah.
Once again, not just creatively, but physically, that has allowed this team to win in spite of what the other team is doing. I look for them to do it. I cannot see San Francisco winning in Philly.
Oh.
Yeah, they gotta go there.
It's
tough,
It is,
yeah.
but they're the only team with a D line that will allow them to cover with 8 and rush with 4. Truly,
Still tough.
I know,
It's
I know, I know, I know.
tough. This is gonna be. And you know, I don't mind saying it. You know, I'd be happy if the Cowboys were able to make it out of the first round. I mean, not this weekend, but into the next round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just love to see them do well. And
Yep.
of course, you know, as a homer, you know I'm a homer.
Absolutely.
I don't mind saying with a little bit of luck here and there, if all things go right, you might end up in Philly or San Fran. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the most part, I look forward to Niners, Eagles in Philly, Eagles pulling it out, and homeboy out of is it Channelview?
Out in East Texas. White House?
I think Jalen's out of Channelview.
Oh, okay, Jalen.
Yeah, Channelview,
I
Texas.
thought you
Yeah,
were talking about
Down south.
switching over to Pat Mahomes.
Philly pulling it out.
Jalen meeting Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Hey.
Let me say something, guys. That's not just an easy pick for KC.
Yeah, it's not.
Absolutely, none of them
I
are.
reluctantly picked them.
Ooh. So who did you reluctantly pick them against? The Bills or the Bengals?
Bengals.
That's tough.
Bengals, man. Bengals, they don't care where they play.
No,
I love them.
Bengals don't care where they play.
They do not.
that's my pick.
Super
We'll
Bowl.
get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. So, Jonas, who do you have right here?
I'm gonna have to agree with the crowd here on KC. That's a hard one to go against.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about who's against them. Partly because I can never keep straight which conference is which.
So 49ers, Eagles, that's really the top 2 teams
Yeah.
in the NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is like there's a lot of good teams on the other side,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably say 49ers get there, but yeah, if they're playing in Philly, that is tough.
Yeah.
That is tough.
Yeah.
With a backup quarterback.
With a backup quarterback. That's
Yeah,
backup
exactly
quarterback.
Third
right.
string.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
Jeez.
49ers can stop the run
Yeah.
with 5 guys.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
So you got 49ers?
You can't just double. You can't.
Yeah.
Huh?
You got 49ers
Oh
out
yeah.
there? Yeah. And I mean, they held Aaron Rodgers to 12 points last year in the playoffs.
The secondary is tough too with San Francisco. Really.
Oh right. They got some hitters back there, boy. I know you love them.
And we talking Christian
Oh, buddy.
McCaffrey,
Hawks too. Yeah.
Debo Samuel. They have ballers out there, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Purdy, he's a baller too.
Yep.
With all that, I mean, my picks, 49ers and Bengals. And I only say Bengals, first of all, because somebody's got to win this challenge. and second of all, Joe Burrow's never lost to Kansas City.
That's a good point. Never.
You know, at home or away.
When in there.
So, you
Big
know,
Burr.
Joe,
Big Burr.
Cool Joe, that boy, that can't
Joe.
no more. That's a quarterback in Cincinnati, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I like it.
you
I
know,
like it.
I like the Bengals, bro.
They have been crazy this year.
They a vicious team, and I love when they wear all black.
Outstanding.
Love when they in that all black out there looking like Iggy Woods and them boys, you know?
Yeah.
Boomer and Esiason around here.
I gotta get
Hey,
it.
Mark, I know you got to roll.
Bro.
Everson, we
Everson.
ain't done, bro. We got a little more to talk
Thank you,
about.
sir.
Man, I gotta roll also. I gotta
All
go.
right,
Yeah.
man.
Are you out too?
Yeah, I gotta go, man.
Right
Appreciate
on,
you, brother.
man.
I'm a grown man, bro. I can't just be sitting around here talking to y'all.
Right.
Hey, man, we all
I
grown,
got stuff
dog.
to
You
do.
know what I'm saying? I got you,
got
dog.
the kids. I
bro.
gotta get the kids.
Hey, next time we got to get you in the building, man, in the shop, so we can chop it up, man, and get some real. Might bring you back like the week before the Super Bowl and see what's going down. You know, see how these picks end up.
That's right. I want you to see how Dak end up. That's what I'm
That's
Hey,
it. That's
Dak-
it.
Dak
Right.
gonna end up on the couch with us next Tuesday. Unfortunately.
Oh man,
Hey,
enjoyed
it's
it.
been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
For your
joining us,
time, man. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, bro.
All right.
All right, bro. I'm out.
All right, peace.
All right, fellas.
Man, that was
It was
fun.
great.
Yeah, man. So that's the great, legendary Mr. Everson Walls joining the show today, man. Had such a good time, man. We were looking forward to that. And about to make a transition. MC's got a jet too, man.
That rope.
We went a couple minutes over. I
Family
appreciate
things.
you, bro.
Absolutely.
You
Love
know,
you. Love you.
Still love you too,
Love.
bro. Hey, we got
Love,
a lot,
brother.
lot going on. Got a lot
We do.
going on,
We do.
man.
And
Hey,
we
we'll be
continue.
in Puerto Rico for the Super Bowl, y'all. You know, I know that sounds crazy, but we're gonna have a good time. We got a special show coming to y'all. We're gonna go ahead and start marketing that here pretty soon, and bring it to you guys, man. So
Yeah, we got
Gotta end
to
up-
start marketing real soon.
yeah, about to, man, about to. So we're gonna leave this Zoom. And we're gonna go back to the regular show, the regular shots.
The regular show.
Right here. Boom. Let's see what we do here. How's this transition rolling? Hope we're not blacked out, and we are blacked
That's
out.
all right.
Y'all can still hear us, but can you hear me? If you can't hear me,
Yeah, I think you got sound. But...
all right. So we're gonna go on a special break here, offline for a second. What up, what up? And we are back, man. Back in action.
Seems like we lost some people somewhere.
Lost a
along
little
the way.
weight. Lost a little weight, you know. Did some push-ups, some sit-ups. Lost a little weight. Had that New Year's resolution.
I lost to Mark Clayton, and you lost to Everson Walls.
Yeah, we lost about 400 pounds.
It's about 400
in like
pounds.
2 minutes. If that ain't a record, man, I don't know what is, bro. But no, man, it's been a fun show, and we're gonna keep the party rolling, man. So now we got a little bit to talk about. We had a significant football game that took place for the University of Texas Christian University out in California this past weekend, and they played in the national championship in the NCAA. Man, things didn't go so well on a record fucking level, freaking level, you know.
I think we're still on the same show, so we can just
we can still
say
get
whatever.
after it a little bit. It's all good. My bad, y'all. You know, I didn't mean to just drop that
Well,
in there.
yeah, because we are talking about the Texas Christian University. So,
Hey,
tone it down a little bit.
you would think that, but I saw a Texas Christian University representative say the word "damn" on an interview, and I was like, "What are we looking at right here? I don't really understand what's going on, or have things loosened up?"
Well, it depends on which version.
It wasn't Catholic. I know C could stand for Catholic, but it's still, you know, it's Christian. But anyways, yeah, man. So Georgia went out there, and did you watch the game at all, Jay? It was like, I mean, it was
Well,
bad.
I
bro.
wasn't watching it until I started seeing all the chatter about, and I was like, well, maybe I need to see what's going on. And then I looked, and I was like, oh, that's so awful. That's
Yeah. Well, I know that
there was
someone, you know,
blood and hair everywhere. It was awful.
someone sent a text and it said, do you think TCU will cover? And Mark was like, yeah, I think TCU will cover. And I had the audacity, and this is before I turned the game on. to say,
Yes.
I said, if it's
Yeah, I
close in
saw-
the fourth quarter, I think TCU could pull it out.
And then
And then I turned the game on,
you're like,
and I was like, oh,
never mind.
This is well before
Take it
I
back.
turned the game on, y'all. Like, I think TCU's overmatched right now. You know, it was still the
Yeah.
first quarter, but it was blatantly obvious
Yeah.
they didn't stand a chance in that game, bro.
Yeah, and you know they've been doing really well this year, all season up to now. But to go straight from the teams that they've been playing to Georgia,
My gosh. Yeah, man.
I mean that's
First of all, like when Georgia lost to Ohio State the week previously, I was like, well, there goes TCU's chance. Because TCU
Right.
beat Michigan, which beat Ohio State. I don't really like to do that because, you know, football
Doesn't-
and sports
it's
is
not-
really a game of
yeah.
matchups, not necessarily if this team beats this team, that means this team is
Yeah.
better. That's not how it goes.
well, there's
right?
too many variables.
Yeah, yeah. And I think TCU caught Michigan on a down day because Michigan was a really good football team.
And I think TCU caught Georgia on an up day, and Georgia caught TCU on a down day.
Yeah, yep.
Because they stomped the mud hole in them. Is what,
Yeah. Georgia had a bad game and still beat Ohio State, you know,
Yeah.
and that says enough
Yeah.
right there. That's the first time a team has won 2 championships in a row since the FBS era has begun, which is shocking considering Alabama has been so dominant, but they haven't done it in this era. Prior to they had, but
Right.
since they started this tournament, they hadn't done it yet. In Georgia, Smart, the coach of Georgia, he comes from Alabama, so it took Nick Saban's stock to raise Nick Saban's level of play. Right. So, no, man, congratulations to Georgia football. All you Georgia football fans, y'all just pissed off that the Falcons suck, so you're jumping on another red and black bandwagon.
you gotta get on something. I was actually gonna say this would be like the Falcons coming to the playoffs and playing
Like actually winning a Super Bowl when they're up by 28 versus
well, no.
letting Tom Brady come back on you and set a record. But, yeah, man. But, no, Georgia, heck of a team. Great job. I'm going to zoom through these last couple sports right
At
now.
TCU, because you mentioned in the notes the question, would you rather get blown out or not make it at all?
Yeah.
TCU, be glad you made it. Like you made it. You did something that I didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it was going to happen.
I sure as heck didn't think. I
And-
never saw y'all getting, this far. Especially
You
with,
got plenty
Gary
to be proud
Patterson
of.
leaving. Yeah,
Got
man.
plenty to be proud of.
Great season, TCU. Great season, man. Purple and black, right?
Yeah.
Mark said black and purple make blue. And I was thinking about that the other day. And actually, it doesn't. You know what I mean? It makes a darker purple. You know?
Depends on whether you're talking bruises or
Well, I mean, black and red make purple.
right.
First of all. But I'll talk with Mark about that. I'll talk with Mark because he was like, "That's the Ravens." Because I was talking about how I don't like the color purple. It's not a sports color. And
There may be some team lore behind that.
Yeah, it is, but it doesn't make sense. Is all I'm saying. It ain't accurate. It ain't accurate at all. But,
All right.
we're gonna move on, man, to boxing. We have a very, very. Actually, we'll move on to the NBA. We'll move on to the NBA next, man. Since we last had a show, we have a player here in Dallas that has been going berserk by the name of Luka Doncic, man. This guy here, actually, let me switch this graphic because I just messed that up a little bit because I was going to boxing and then just it's like a stutter, like a graphic stutter.
Sure.
But anyways, Luka Magic, man. Luka Doncic has been going off. He went off again last night. They didn't come away with the win because the Clippers were a little bit too strong. But during the break, he had a game. First ever happening of this, 61 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 boards. I believe that's what the stat line was.
Yeah.
Might have been 62 points, but I believe it was 61 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists, man. I'm sorry, 21 rebounds and 10 assists. I said that all wrong the first time.
You did, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Coming back, that's what notes are for.
That's right.
But, even my notes are wrong right here because I didn't put the right amount of points. But Luka's been going crazy, man, on an MVP level, man. As you guys know, last time we had a show, the Mavericks were 15-15. At this point in the season, they are now 23-19 with that loss last night. So obviously we've had more wins than we've had losses. But they are playing very well right now. Luka's playing very well. Looking forward to seeing what happens for the remainder of the season. I'm also a Lake Show fan. Yeah. As soon as we start doing something well, somebody gets hurt, and usually who that somebody is Anthony Davis, and of course it is him again. He's injured right now. Got to come back from his injury, but hopefully we can pick it back up. Lake Show. So I'm Lakers and Dallas Mavericks. I know that sounds crazy, but watch an old show and you'll understand why. I'm not gonna go through that. Right. So moving on to boxing, there is some boxing news that we need to discuss, man. As you see this Oak Cliff official shirt that I have on, this is representative of one of my good friends, man, my big bro, Derek James, man, who also happens to be the trainer for Earl Spence, Jamel Charlo, and one Frank Martin, up-and-coming boxer. The man has 7 belts. Well, I guess he doesn't, but the people that he trains...
In his training stable, he's got 7 belts.
7 belts, man. One of them is a unified champion. The other is a... What's the word? Undisputed champ, and the other is a unified champ. That's what it is, right? Jamel Charlo's a unified champ.
Are you being disputed if you're the unified champ?
Well, with the unified champ, you have all the belts. Or no.
So you're undisputed.
Undisputed, you have all the belts.
Okay.
Unified, you have several belts.
Some of the belts.
Yeah. So Jamel Charlo has all 4 belts. Earl Spence has 3 of the 4 belts. And we're waiting on that. Yeah, we're waiting for that Crawford fight.
He's waiting on the paperwork to line up.
Yeah, man. And I'm just telling y'all right now, I feel anybody wearing snack on their pants, like I think they're a dirty boxer. I think they're dirty because that's the same guy that's Balco, man. Like that's the same guy that got all the Major League Baseball players popped, man, and now he's training boxers. I think he's just trying to stay ahead of the game,
Could be.
I think he's a cheater that stays ahead of the tests, right? And now he's got several boxers. They happen to be champions, Stevenson, Haney, Crawford. These guys that are in Frank's weight class and also Earl's 147 weight class.
So let me get this straight. You're okay with them doing a little juice in baseball? That's just part of the game. Mm-hmm. But in boxing, it's not okay?
No.
Why is that? How's that work?
Well, baseball, it's a boring sport. Right, to some. To me, I love it. And it's a level playing field.
It's a lot better to be playing baseball than it is to be watching baseball.
Yeah, exactly. And
watching baseball is better if you've played baseball.
Yeah. But when the
softball.
Majority of people are doing it in baseball, and it's don't get me started on that. But in boxing, when it's mano a mano,
True.
right?
Yeah. Fair enough.
And you have one group over here doing this snack program with a convicted cheater.
Yeah.
Right? The guy's going to jail behind it already. But now he's just cleaned up the program, like, whatever. I don't believe it. call a spade is how I see it, you know. And then we have, I don't know, maybe I should give the guy a second chance. Maybe he's doing things right and just really smart. And then we have Earl Spence over here doing things the right way through Derek's program with other boxers in the stable that are, through hard work, freaking like steel men. Like these dudes are freaking in shape, strong as iron, and beating the brakes off people.
Yeah.
Like I'm and they're from Dallas, bro. So I'm riding with this group over here all day.
Right.
Anybody wearing snack, I think you're cheating, but you're still not as good as this group over here. So.
I'm gonna throw two things out there. One, Derek James is so clean that like he's drinking water,
That's all he drinks.
like nothing but water.
Yeah.
And sat there in your boy's place, burger place over there, with some burgers. Like if you've not, shout out to the name
Charburger, man.
If you just walk in, the smell of those burgers,
Old fashioned burgers
Like-
for real.
like
Duncanville, Texas.
my
Bennett,
mouth is
Texas.
watering.
I was in there last night. It was so hard to not order a burger, bro.
Right?
Oh my god.
Derek James sits there. Nah, man, I'm clean.
Yeah, man.
Like that's a little too clean for me. Like
Bro.
I need a little dirt on it.
I call Derek James. I call Derek a plant, right? Because
Yeah,
Derek
he's
don't
basic-
drink Gatorade. He doesn't drink
Drink
alcohol.
water.
He doesn't drink Coke or Pepsi.
He eats meat though, right?
He
Like,
drinks
eats some meat.
water, some meat.
Yeah, but not like a burger. Not like
No.
a greasy, nice, yummy,
Derek and
delicious.
So we
awesome
have
burger.
the celebrity softball game.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was, we went to the cage and I was showing Derek, I was teaching him how to hit.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I'm losing focus. Let me drink some water. I was like,
Yeah.
hold on. I said, what? I said, so
Yeah.
you lose focus. I was like, why are you drinking water when you lose focus? He was like, well, I just drink water and, it helps me focus.
Yeah.
Helps me regain my focus. Like, Derek is the cleanest person I've ever
the
met
cleanest,
in my life.
he's squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean, bro.
Squeaky clean.
Dude drinks water to
Yeah.
focus. Like, I do all kinds of stuff to focus. We're not going to talk about that today. But,
Well, so that's the other thing that I was going to bring up. And I read a book called Total Competition,
yeah.
which sounds like it would be really interesting. It's actually not. It's really kind of boring.
Oh, no.
It's about Formula One,
Okay.
which is how I got to read it in the first place.
Yeah.
But if you're into that kind of stuff,
Which we are.
one of the things that they talk about is, and the reason that the book has the name that it does, is that like when you are at that level of competition, when you are at a premier level of competition, it's all out. It's not at all like most people's businesses, most people's relationships where there's give and take and like you want to stay within the rules because you'll get dinged on something, you might go to jail.
Yeah.
In these sports, a lot of times total competition means total competition. We're going to push the limits as far as we can push the limits and then one step further.
Yeah.
And then one step further until we get dinged on something.
Yeah.
Because that's the level of competition that you're at.
Yep.
So when people, if somebody's pushing the limits on, some performance enhancing substance of some sort or, whatever, that is to some extent the level of competition that you're at. So to wrap that back to squeaky clean, to be able to put out at the level that Derek and his guys are putting out
7 belts
And
and
be-
one contending.
and be clean,
Yeah.
like that's freaking impressive.
Yeah, man.
Like
Yeah, man.
Those guys are doing something special. If I can get him to let me come down there and like get beat up by
Yeah.
some of those
Hey,
guys.
we can
sparring.
go down there. I don't know if he'll let you spar, but we can go down there.
I'll
one
sign.
day, man.
I'll sign the release. I like. Getting
You want to
beat
get
up.
in there?
Yeah, I like getting hit.
Oh my gosh, that's fun. Damn,
That's power to
man.
me.
Hey, I see
Like-
what. Hey, you and Sophie got some freaky stuff going on at the crib, dog. Hey, dog. I watch Billions.
You know how that works.
Got the leather
Yeah, man.
and the swings and stuff.
But-
But
Errol Spence.
yeah, man. So
Stuff's happening.
Yeah, no. So I don't want to leave Derek yet.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
He is now like the undisputed,
Undisputed
like,
trainer of the year.
bro.
Yeah, that's right.
He's got the
Nice.
ESPN trainer of the year.
Yeah.
He's got the boxing. I believe he's got the PBC trainer of the year. He's got the Boxing Writers Association of America trainer of the year. Man,
Yeah.
congrats. Derek James, man, repping all the time, baby. Oak Cliff, that's my hood. Put it in your face. That's what it is, man. Congratulations.
and
well deserved.
If you haven't watched any of the previous shows, just an awesome guy.
Yeah, man.
Like just the nicest, most awesome dude.
Yeah, bro.
Probably not if he's coaching you, but
Yeah,
like
bro.
you probably hate him if he's coaching you, but
Man, he's just a good dude, man.
Yeah,
I look up
well
to him like
deserved.
as a big brother, man, and really admire that dude and really appreciate, the impact he has had on my life and in meeting someone that's just so focused and locked in on what they do. And, bro, you don't meet people like that every day.
yeah,
And that's why he is where he is. So
absolutely.
congrats again, Derek James. Also, in boxing news, man, yesterday or day before, one of the two, Earl Spence and Keith Thurman have announced they will be fighting, or they're in negotiations to have a fight in April, man. Keith Thurman, I think he just wants that check because he's come to a point, and guys that take off for a couple years always scare me. That means they could have been juicing for a year, year and a half, gotten it out of their system, and now they've gotten the results from it, like we talked about with Ray.
Yep.
Right, that came onto the show.
Yep.
Right,
They get him back.
now they've gotten the results from the juice or whatever it was after he lost to Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
He was humble with his first loss, and now he's coming back to fight Earl. I don't care what he takes. He will never be on Earl's level as far as I'm concerned. Good luck, Keith Thurman. You're about to get that ass whooped. You're getting the brakes beat off of you, and I can't wait to see it, man. You're going to come out with broken ribs. I think Earl's broken, I don't know, like 4 of the last 6 orbital bones he's faced in the ring. So good luck to your eyeball sockets. And, yeah, man. We'll see what happens, but I got a feeling Earl's going to come out victorious, and they're fighting at 152, so the belts are not on the line at 147.
Okay, all right.
Right? They're at 154, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Earl fought in the Olympics at 152, so he's very comfortable walking around in that weight and fighting at that weight. I think he'd rather fight at that weight. But, to get the 4 belts, he's got to fight back at 147, which is very hard for him at this time. Grown man, bro. You like to eat. You like to do things. You don't want to be 147 pounds when you walk around 190. But how tough is that, bro? Imagine having to get down to 147 pounds, Jonas.
I would probably die.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'd have to starve myself for like
that's more than 50
2
pounds.
years.
From my weigh in this morning, that's more than 50 pounds.
147.
More than 50 pounds.
Could you do it for 15 million?
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Jonas be walking around here looking like these right
Put
here.
the money
shredded
on
up.
the table. Put the money on the table. I'd be ripped like Jesus.
Just straight shredded, dog. Boy, I ain't eating nothing but tomatoes for 2 years, dog.
So I eat some lettuce.
Yeah, lettuce and
2
tomatoes,
years, man. I think you could pull that off in less time than that.
Right on, bro.
Would not be fun.
Right on. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the boxing talk, man. Once again, congratulations, Derek, and I'm looking forward to watching my boy Earl fight. Frank, you know what it is, bro. Happy for you, dog. It's about time you got your shot, dog, and I'm looking forward to it. Javante Davis had a nice fight this weekend. He won his fight in knockout fashion. And actually, the dude, Javante Davis is the guy that's in Frank's weight class.
Right.
That's holding the belt. I would love to see Frank fight him. Frank has sparred him before. He said he had a great sparring session with him. Right? Javante has not invited him back to the gym since that sparring session. So that tells you it went pretty good. I don't know what that means as far as who won or whatnot, but I'd love to see them in a
That could
match.
mean that there's a match brewing.
Exactly.
Like they've had a little feel out, but now they don't want to give anything away.
Exactly.
Could be.
Exactly.
Could be.
And I know that Frank has gotten better, stronger. Like the guy's focused, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. And but anyway, Javante, he this past weekend he had a fight, and the guy in the 7th round, I believe, going into the 8th or 8th going into the 9th, one of the two, he was just like, bro, like I can't go back out there. I can't see.
Oh yeah.
Told his corner he can't see. They called the fight when he was in the corner. Or like in the 3rd round, I text Derek. Derek was at the fight.
All right.
I said, Derek, his overhand left is wide open. And that's like he, boom, hit him with overhand left. And I forget the guy's name, but he like startled back and like he just went to town on him.
Yeah.
Beat him up real bad, and the fight was over. But anyway, I would love to see Frank and Javante Davis have a fight. I think that'd be a great matchup. And I think Frank can run through Devin Haney and anybody else in that weight class. So we'll see what happens, man. We got another champion, upcoming champion in the stable over here with Derek. But anyways, we're gonna move on, man, to what I love to talk about. Jonas's favorite topics as well, and that is Tech Talk, man. What you got for us this week, Jay?
Well, I don't know. There's a couple of things. And one, we started to talk before the show, we started to talk about the vaccines.
Yep.
And we're not going to talk about those vaccines.
Okay, good.
But there is, I don't know if you know this, but honeybees have a lot of problems.
Okay.
Honey, this is where honey comes from, right?
Yeah, and honey, I heard that
is
you
good for
can
you.
have honey, like, honey does not expire. Like, you
That's
can have
right.
it up to 3,000 years.
They have recovered 3,000-year-old honey, and it was crystallized.
Yeah.
So all the water had evaporated out of it.
Yep. But
you put some water in it, throw it in the microwave for a couple of seconds.
and you got honey.
You got honey.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's a fact. That's
Yeah.
a fact. So there's no when you get that honey that's in the jar and it's all crystallized up, it's still good.
You just put some water, put some little water. You
just
better put
gotta
some water in that dang
Stir it up a little bit.
Yeah.
This is like hundreds of bees were highly inconvenienced to make you that honey,
Crazy.
and they weren't getting paid either.
That's awesome.
But what they do get is diseases. Like any domesticated animal, because they are effectively a domesticated animal, they're kept in close confines and they're traded around and a monoculture, they've been bred and so on. And they have diseases that go through.
So can they pass these diseases to people through stingers?
Nothing like that.
Not like mosquitoes.
Not like mosquitoes, because they're natural. The mosquitoes can do that because their natural thing is to suck blood and bite somebody else and so on. But no, that's not how it works with the bees. What happens to the bees though is they get these diseases and the whole, because of the way they're structured, because they've got the queen and everybody else is subservient basically to the queen, or vice versa, however you want to look at it. But the whole hive dies.
Wow.
And when the whole hive dies, that's it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Game over.
Yeah, no more honey coming in from that.
No
from
more
that
honey
group.
coming from that hive. And when you get, the way these things work is typically you have a bunch of hives in a relative, a few acres, but there's a bunch of them that are close together and they're constantly bumping into each other. And so one hive collapses, that's what they call it. Then the other hives are very likely to collapse as well.
So can they poison the honey?
Probably wouldn't poison. You probably just wouldn't get any honey.
Got you.
So what happens is
It becomes sterile.
the queen gets the disease. The workers pick it up outside somewhere.
Queen been hoeing.
Well, the workers, I guess, but they pick it up from somewhere from other bees, basically,
Fraternization.
and they bring it back to the hive. The queen picks it up, and then like this particular disease, the larva, the baby honeybees, basically just turn to mush.
Bro, so is the queen the only female in the...
No,
Beehive?
actually, almost all of them are female.
Really?
But the queen's the only one that produces eggs.
So she's like the pimp queen, the pimp bee.
Kind of, yeah.
Like the mama of the strip club.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
That's crazy.
But so there's the queen who does all the egg laying, all the workers, every honeybee that you see. If you see a honeybee, if you get stung by a honeybee, if you see one out in the wild, that's a female.
Really?
That's a female, it's a worker. And here's the cool thing. If you take that worker and before it gets grown, and while it's still a baby honeybee, and feed it special food, they call it royal jelly because it turns into the queen, it becomes a queen. So the workers, sometimes if the queen is not doing what she's supposed to do, like this is fucked up.
Yeah.
If the queen is not doing what she's supposed to do, sometimes the workers will stage a revolution
Wow.
and bring up a new queen that basically chases the old one out,
What, you bite the head
or
off?
will leave, or that queen will leave and the workers follow.
So where are the male bees?
So the male bees, which they call drones, there's a few of them floating around, but they're kind of like
They're chill.
they kind of got a chill lifestyle, except that they tend to get killed
By
the queen,
female?
yeah.
Oh, by the queen.
But
She don't like when her males go out there and...
yeah, but they're kind of like what do you call it? Boy toys. Because that's pretty much
That's all they do.
Yeah, that's their whole purpose in
They
life.
fly around until she's ready.
Yep.
Really? Do they have a stinger?
They don't even have a stinger.
Are you serious?
Yep.
What does a bee without a stinger look like?
Kind of like a slightly
Like a
larger
fly?
honeybee.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just like a big fly,
Kind of, yeah.
like a horse fly.
Well, yeah. I mean, it looks like a honeybee, but it just doesn't have a stinger.
What?
It has an abdomen. That back part is still there. It just doesn't have a stinger.
Oh, you said so they can't hurt you.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
But you very rarely see them outside the hive. The only time they come outside the hive, really, I mean, not to say ever, but is when they have the swarm.
I feel like the word bees has a whole new meaning now.
Yeah.
Straight.
It's crazy.
like bee stand, short for
A few years ago, pre-COVID,
Female
Sophie
dog.
got me a chance to go and hang with some beekeepers.
Yeah.
For a couple days.
Did you put a suit on with the
Put the suit
hat
on and
with the
everything.
net?
Covered with bees. It was awesome.
Are you serious, bro?
Yeah.
Like you didn't get stung at all?
Didn't get stung at all.
What?
Covered with bees. But I mean, I had the whole suit on, gloves.
So you got like
down to-
so once you got past the initial shock of all these bees like in your face.
Yeah. Well, they kind of ease you into it.
Did you then like start to study the bees like that were on you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And were you like
Because they're everywhere. I mean, it's not like not like fully covered, because you have to do something to make that happen. But,
Yeah.
but they're flying around all over you, and like the wicked thing is not that there's bee, because I knew that was coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of prepared for that. The wicked thing about it is the sound.
like what?
Because
what
you
does
think
that
about
sound
like the bees, one bee is like zzz, you
Yeah.
hear it come by. When you're talking about millions of
It's
them,
like subwoofer like
oh yeah, it's like being stuck inside the subwoofer. Like,
oh my gosh, bro.
I mean, it's insane.
That's crazy, dog. Like I could not imagine.
And you can hear that shit from like 100 yards away. Like it's not like, oh, I accidentally stumbled into a beehive.
Yeah, like
If you ever
what's
been
happening.
under like one of those high powered high tension power lines?
Yeah.
You hear that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. Like from 100 yards away, that's what it's like.
Wow.
When you
bro.
get right up on it, it's like, I mean, it's just like in your face,
So
in
does
your
that like
ears.
create some type of a frequency? Like it's got to create some type of energy that you. I wonder if you can contain like bee energy
I don't know. Like
and
I tried
turn
to
it into like energy.
fly around and sting some people after that, but it didn't work out real well.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, there is. It's definitely like there's definitely some feeling of like wow.
Yeah, like
that-
vibrations like coming from that.
Yeah.
It has to create some type of energy.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's
so
crazy.
point being that because bees get these diseases, and it's a big problem for honey because honey's good. Honey's a good thing.
Yep.
Like honey's one of the most healthful sweeteners
Yeah.
that you can get.
Yeah.
And so they've come up with a vaccination for bees.
So how are they administrating this?
Well, they give them a shot in the butt.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. No, what happens? What they
They're
do?
just like spraying something somewhere.
they. So this is not like a wild hive that
Yeah.
that you do this. This is a
Contained,
contained
yeah.
hive, and so they'll take the queen frame, and so that's getting into some fairly technical beehive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a particular box that the queen is kept in.
Yeah, the
And they-
exclusive
and-
guys.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, excluder is what the screen
Really?
that prevents the queen
Wow.
from escaping. So
That's crazy. Cheers to
right. So remember they have that special jelly that they feed the queen. Right, that's what makes her the queen.
that. Yeah.
And so they'll take and drip that vaccine into that special jelly that the queen gets fed. So she gets the vaccine and then passes it on to all the other bees as she's laying eggs.
Oh, got you.
So she's laying the eggs and they grow up into workers and
But
drones.
the bees that didn't have that, do they like die
they're
off, or
fucked.
are they just like
They're just
does the
fucked.
queen just like go around and say, y'all go kill those guys? They're not an enemy.
No, they don't just kill them off, but they will die off.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between like bee society and human society is there's not so much value on an individual because it's all about the hive.
It's better than a lotus that like bites the male's head
And
off.
those bees, like the worker bees, like if you think about it, like that's their life, is their whole life is about supporting that hive. They will like soldiers, they'll give their life
Man,
for that hive in a heartbeat,
So like, I was mowing the
a
yard,
bee heartbeat.
and I found a ant hill in my backyard.
Yeah.
And like, I love doing this, but at the same time, I feel bad about it because I know I'm about to bring this ant food over here and like destroy all y'all right now.
Right.
But like, just to see the energy and
Yeah.
how like committed they are.
Oh yeah.
To
They're intense.
protecting the queen and
Yep.
and
Same
keeping this
concept,
mound. Yeah, bro. Like, I need some homies like that. You know what I'm
They're
saying?
hardcore. Yeah.
Like, and how? So when there is a queen that gets revolted on, like, is there like a fight between the queen to bee versus the queen bee?
Honeybees, at least.
Or does the queen bee like recognize the revolt and understand
they
that
have some
all
of the-
these are following this queen now,
Right.
and I'm just taking off before
She
I die?
just leaves. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Or the other queen leaves. One of the two will leave.
How big is a bee brain? It can't be that big, but they seem pretty intuitive.
They're like little computers.
That's insane.
I mean, they really are. It's very everything is very like controlled by levels of chemicals and things like that. Like this, it's very basic, but at the same time, it's very complicated.
You
very
think
complex.
we could ever make a car that runs off bees?
I
I know that sounds like
don't
a
know.
crazy question.
Would you want to though? Because
I mean, we love the sound.
It'd be-
you know, we love to
be-
hear our motors.
they'd be flying around and
But
you
if
know,
it's contained,
stopping
like-
it all every place there's some
All right,
flowers.
y'all,
and-
just don't even think about that question I just asked right there. I'm just saying. Like, I know it kinda gets
that might be
wild.
where we get our flying cars from, though. That's
That'd
the
be
thought.
great. You know, let's study the bee, man.
Yeah,
It's a very
yeah, that's
interesting
something to think about.
insect. Very interesting insect, man. But was there anything else? I know we had some crazy flight situations taken on this.
Yeah,
morning.
we had so this very morning there was a problem with the FAA computers, Federal Aviation Administration, and so they have some computer systems and network that doesn't control, but it passes information back and forth about which flights are in the air, which flights are on the ground, which ones are about to take off, and so on. And if you didn't know that, I'll let you know another little secret. There's another similar system for railways.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, similar system for railways. And
So was this like radar?
no. This is just an information system. So
Okay.
it's just a computer network.
Confirming what is going on.
The airlines
Who and what?
put the information have to put the information in. Actually, I think it comes from like the airport is who and the like air traffic controllers is who has to put that information in. But I could be wrong about that, as I'm not an expert on that. But anyway, the FAA runs the flight stuff pretty tightly, and because something happened. I just checked Twitter before the show started to see if they had maybe updated again. Nothing since 9 o'clock this morning when they said everything's getting back online.
Yeah.
But for several hours, about 3 or 4 hours there, they were not letting any flights take off
In the world.
in the U.S.
So it wasn't the world? I thought it was the entire world.
Well, it was any U.S. flights in the world.
Okay, got you.
But yeah, it's the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration. There's
Yeah.
other ones for other countries.
So you think that like that main line just popped?
I don't
what
know.
do you think happened, bro?
Everybody's saying they were hacked.
The breaker just popped and the server shut off.
I would say that if
Is there one server that controls all that?
if that is the case, that's almost worse than if they were hacked.
Bruh.
I put it this way: there's no good. Somebody's out of a job.
Yeah, right now, absolutely. bro.
Somebody their heads will roll.
Yeah.
This is one of those really really bad days for somebody.
Do you think they can
Probably several somebodies.
You think they've pinpointed? They've traced where that outage came from?
Where that outage came from.
Let me speak correctly.
I mean, we'll just go. Let's just say, some people are saying they were hacked.
yeah, some people like me.
I would say that if that's the case, chances are nobody's going to know for absolute certainty except for whoever did it,
Yeah,
because there's not really a good reason in terms of financials. Like you're not going to steal a bunch of private information that you can then resell from that. So there's no like financial reason to do that. The only reason to do that would be as a infrastructure attack.
War.
I would say that we've been at war in terms of information systems for years now.
15, 20?
15 or 20 years now,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
But it's the Cold War.
I just wonder what happened during that time it was down. Like, what really happened? Because somebody didn't want something to get seen.
Somebody, I would say,
where are they positioned?
I would say that what happened was that somebody's ass got in big ass trouble.
No doubt. No doubt. But like 3 to 4 hours, right?
Well, so
Like what
so
could take place in 3 to 4 hours? Like what's the fastest plane that we know? And how far could the
Oh,
fastest
I
plane
see what you're
go
saying.
in 3 to
Okay,
4 hours?
so this was not a loss of tracking in the air.
Mm-hmm.
This was a lack of the FAA being able to coordinate things between airports.
Okay, so radars
So
was still on
is
point.
it? Oh yeah, absolutely. Radars were all still flight control was still active.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, that's something that I could spend some time thinking about and come up with some weird scenarios, but it's kind of iffy. I mean, this seems more like it's so obvious. It seems more like the kind of thing where somebody either tripped over a cord and unplugged something they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking, there's lots of other ways that could happen. Or if it was a hack, somebody succeeded a little bit better than what they meant for it to.
Gotcha.
Because if the only reason to do this would either be somebody who should know better, messing around.
Somebody unemployed looking for a job
Yeah, right.
after they go to jail for 3 months.
Well, or it'd be like I hear you just fired some people.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can help you out there.
Yeah. Like this right here is where we can penetrate your system right here.
Right.
So,
How do you know that?
well, hire me. And,
Obvious.
and matter of fact, hire me for this much.
Right.
And I'll show you.
Right.
Otherwise, we might do it again and it might
Yeah.
come with some circumstances.
Although that's the kind of thing that ends up with you being prime target of the FBI.
Yeah, and you don't want to be that either.
Yeah, when they're not busy doing other things.
That's when they drug you like Kanye.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about
I didn't say that.
Chat GPT before the show, and I think I was really interested in hearing more about what Mark had to say about that.
I haven't even heard of this. And
so
I
we'll-
appreciate y'all bringing that to me.
We'll
I'm gonna do some research.
revisit that on another show
Yeah.
when we can really dive into it.
Yeah.
But on a related note,
Can you just say what it is right now?
yeah. So Chat GPT, there's a
Chat
a
GPT.
series of machine learning systems
Okay.
that were produced by OpenAI. That's the name of the company.
Mm-hmm.
OpenAI. They started with GPT-1, GPT-2, now they're up to GPT-3. And Chat GPT is a chat bot that's based on that's backed by the GPT-3 machine learning system.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they've done is they've taken massive amounts of text information. It's all text. This is not an image system like DALL-E. Massive amounts of text information, trained the system to be able to read that text and then synthesize new responses to questions
Yeah.
based on it. So you can type a question into ChatGPT. I've tried this. Was sort of impressed and sort of not impressed.
Is this a
with it.
website?
Yeah, there's a website.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go to OpenAI. I think it's OpenAI.com. There's a sign up process. The last couple of days, the public chat feature has been flooded so much that it's very difficult to get through.
Yeah.
But there's some other ways that you can access it that are a little bit faster and a little bit more available.
Let's not say that here, and let's talk about that offline. So
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to.
actually, let's go ahead and say that here.
I mean, you have to sign up, and you get like an API token, a key that you have to plug in, and then there's some programming involved, which is why it's more available because not everybody can do it.
Nope. I can copy and paste.
So On that note, so now that we have a very, very rough idea of what ChatGPT and GPT-3 is, OpenAI has an API, which is a way that programs can talk to each other, and another company called Do Not Pay, DONOTPAY, Do Not Pay, has built an AI around this GPT-3 API. And basically it's a robot lawyer. So you tell the robot lawyer about your case, and it tells you what to do.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
And so Do Not Pay has been successful in like negotiating with like reducing medical bills.
Yeah.
This is kind of impressive. They've been successfully able to negotiate with Comcast. So anything that's able to successfully get through Comcast's customer service system is pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah.
So that's actually more impressive than some of the other stuff I've seen. But so Do Not Pay has this robot lawyer, and the CEO of Do Not Pay, Josh Broder, has made this crazy proposition to say, look, traffic court and all that's all fine. We got that, but that's too easy. We want to offer $1 million to any lawyer who's got a case to be argued before the Supreme Court.
Oh, wow.
If they will let our robot lawyer, do the case instead of them.
Oh my gosh.
And so
I want to. What's that website?
So OpenAI.com is where the GPT-3 comes from, and ChatGPT. Do Not Pay is the other one. I think it's
And
I
you
think
can
it's
get there through
donotpay.com.
through the OpenAI. You can get there through the OpenAI.
No, you have to. That's two completely separate
Okay.
companies.
Okay.
Their only connection is the ones using the API together.
So Do Not Pay. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
check some things out.
I would check that one out too, because
That's,
I was not aware of that before reading this story.
That's awesome.
And
bro.
anything
Like,
that
what?
can help negotiate, some of these customer service things
Yeah.
and contracts would be helpful.
That's crazy. That's
But,
awesome, man.
No offense to any lawyers, and I have some good friends who are lawyers, but a lot of the legal profession is boilerplate and just saying the same stuff over and over again until somebody stops arguing with you about it. That's the kind of stuff that computers are really good at.
Yeah, for sure.
Knowing
Prompts.
finding obscure details about a specific, pulling up every detail about some obscure subject. Computers are good at that.
Man, what is their ticker?
That's a good question.
Because ticker symbol, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the stock ticker for.
Yeah, because
I'm not even sure if OpenAI is publicly traded.
Really?
That's a good question.
I need to find that out.
We'll have to look that up
that
offline.
is-
Because we will be talking more about this. As a
Off the
huge.
chain. Because we're taking away bias. We're taking away feelings and emotions. We're taking all that stuff out, and it's just black and white, bro. Down to the lay of the land or the lay of the law. But I say that, but I also know that these things are also programmed.
They're programmed, and not even necessarily the programming, but the classic example now is the facial recognition.
Mm-hmm. The inputs,
So
bro.
they train the facial recognition on these inputs of publicly available images.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that there's a whole lot more publicly available images of white people's faces than anybody else.
Yep, for sure.
So guess what?
Some cats is gonna get by.
And this was the thing. So of the available images of faces, because of cultural things and just the way the world has worked up until now, the publicly available images of black people's faces were mostly mugshots.
That's crazy.
Not because all black people are criminals.
Yeah.
Present
That's-
company excluded.
Yeah, we're talking about like available, like.
But because this was what was available.
Yeah. That's crazy.
They trained it on that, and so that model that they had trained on the facial recognition said, well, if it's a black person, they're probably criminal.
That is insane. So there is a built-in bias.
So there's built-in bias, not because somebody programmed it to be that way,
But because of the inputs.
but because
given.
society programmed it to be that way.
Yeah.
So that's what, a couple of years ago, I wrote an article talking about that the bias in AI is not because of the programmers or because AI has some inherent bias in and of itself. It's a reflection of what happens in the real world.
The readily available information.
Right. Yeah.
That-
It's a reflection of biases that exist
Yeah.
in the real world.
Yep.
It's the same with when, I did some work on recruiting machine learning models.
Yeah.
Same thing there. Because certain people have traditionally held certain jobs, this is not even necessarily a white people versus black people thing. It's various other races and origins
It's
involved.
just what it is, yeah.
And the machine learning model says, well, this is what has always been done, so this is what we're going to continue to do.
Yeah, completely.
So when you're training
immediately,
a system on this is what has been done in the past, and the past was biased.
Yep.
You're going to get a biased system.
Yeah, buddy.
It's just going to happen.
That's crazy.
And
That's
so,
crazy.
so when we're looking at doing more stuff with these, machine learning models, whether, the image stuff seems like people like clicked on that pretty quickly and understood, oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas the natural language stuff, this chat thing and all the text for that, it seems like maybe people are finding that a little harder to understand that this is going to be this could be a problem.
Yeah.
Because there are voices, especially in text. There are voices that maybe have not been heard.
Yeah.
There's subjects that maybe didn't get talked about enough.
Yep. There's
And
that
so-
one variable in there that is hidden for the most part.
Right.
Even though they're there,
Right. And
there's so many more of this other variable that
Yeah.
this one is not going to be seen,
and
it cannot represent.
and there's so much more to this topic. Like there's so many more pluses and minuses to how this could be used and things that could happen. But we're running low on time.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good, bro. I've enjoyed this, though.
Yeah.
And we got a lot more to talk about, man. This is the start of season 7.
We've talked about why you're wrong about Dak today.
No, he had a bias.
He had a bias.
He had a bias. He works for the
historical-
Cowboys. So, you know what I'm saying? Of course, that was his job to defend his quarterback, he said.
He made some good points.
He did make some good points, but
made some
were
good
not
points.
valid to me. I just knew I couldn't argue him down, bro. You know? No, like shout out Everson Walls, man. Really enjoyed you coming on the show. We got to get you in the building, bro. And so we can
Absolutely.
really hash this out, man. We got plenty of time because Dak's gonna be here chilling, watching the playoffs with us come Tuesday. Unfortunately, I'm a Cowboys fan. It don't sound like it, but that is what it is. I'm a realist. He's never beat Brady. I have no track record.
I would love to see them. I would love to see them go through. I don't see them passing the Bucks.
I don't even.
Passing the Bucks.
Too bad they got him in the first round.
Passing the Bucks.
Yeah, passing
see
the
what they did
Bucks. Passing the Bucks. They got all the Bucks in the bank. They ain't
Yeah,
passing.
no, I agree. I think that, unfortunately, I think that's probably going to be the end of the line.
Although we've come to the end of the road.
And we've come to the end of the show.
Hey. Now, I'm not going to go boys and men on y'all fully, but hey, I can hit them notes. I'm just playing with y'all. But no, we'll see y'all next week, man. Sometime around noonish. We got a whole
Plus
new
or minus
setup
2
coming
hours.
at you. Hey, and be looking out for our Super Bowl show, man. Coming live from Puerto Rico. We're going to have awesome guests all weekend long, man. It's
gonna be
Looking
crazy.
forward to it, but we got a lot of build up to get to that point. But man, thank y'all for joining us today. Everson Walls again, thank you.